Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I just made another potting video and this guy was like, you seriously can't pot them and not pot me. So I had to, of course, get a few extra pots and he's gonna get divided up. See how thin his little leaves are? This poor little Gasteria. I just can't keep him watered enough with all of them in here in this little bit of soil. So he's gonna get potted up. I'm gonna point you down and we're gonna get going. All right, first it's important to note, because I know people will ask in the comments about the soil that I'm using. This is regular old potting soil. So if you want to know what's best for succulents, you can watch a lot of my old videos. You can watch a lot of great people here on YouTube that talk a lot about soil and what succulents like. However, I am getting back to my normal life from being really, really ill, which is when I did most of the videos on succulents. And that means I'm getting back into herbalism, which is really, really my passion and has been for a lot of years, and something that I spend a lot of time doing regularly. So as I'm getting back into doing that, my succulents are getting less and less care, which is okay. They're okay with it, but I do have to pot them a bit differently. So their ideal soil, and I'm putting that in quotation marks, is much more like you see here, much more rocky and gritty, more pumice heavy, etc. And if you're a normal waterer, this is what you want to do. However, with my busy schedule coming back into a more normal place for me, I am a chronic underwaterer, even of succulents. I'm just too busy to keep my hundreds and hundreds of succulents watered and happy in this loose of soil, especially if they have babies on them, which this guy needed to be repotted anyways. As you can see, I'm just pulling off some of these dried up leaves around the bottom and just cleaning them up a little bit. A little tug, and if they don't want to come off, that's fine. So for these guys, I am going to be repotting them into just regular potting soil, and that is because of my own watering schedule. I know myself, I've had succulents for over 20 years, and these guys will just not get enough water if I put them in a really gritty mix with how busy my life is going to be for the next at least year in the foreseeable future. Anyway, so these guys are going into normal potting soil. That is one of the main reasons I always say there is no right and wrong way to do things. It's about realizing your patterns, your weather, your humidity levels, your watering habits, and then adjusting your soil to a place that will work for you. Now, of course, they need basic nutrients and things like that, and things like that don't ever change. Like most succulents won't ever like really acidic soil, etc. As you can see, I'm just gently separating this with my fingers and just slowly working. I can hear the roots moving but not breaking, and so that's what I'm going for, is movement but as minimal of breakage as possible. But there are a lot of things that are very fluid about succulents and what they like, and a lot of that depends on your habits. All right, let's see if these two will separate as well. So when someone comes along and says, this is the right soil for this plant, I just laugh and change the channel or scroll to another place and read something else, because it totally depends on how much humidity you have where you live, how often you water, so many factors. And if someone doesn't ask any of those questions and just immediately jumps into telling you how you should care for your plant, buyer beware. Usually that advice is worth about as much as you paid for it, which is usually not much. All right, this one's still quite attached to the mother, so I'm just trying to break the soil up as close and away as possible without breaking too many roots, to see if she has a fairly good root system on her own, or if she's really attached to mama for all of her goods. And I think she has a root, yep, she has a nice little root system herself. There we go. We didn't even break any off. This one right here is broken off, which is just right where she was attached to her mom, but she's got the roots. And all of these guys are going to go into these separate pots. And as you can see, there's a few roots that broke off, which most of these are all dried up. Oops, I'm outside of the camera. Sorry about that. You can see there's some roots that broke off, but they're dried up and dead, so that's not going to be hard for the plant. And on the topic of me being extra busy and not having as much time to care for succulents and water as often, etc., I am probably going to be thinning down my collection here pretty soon. It's been too cold to ship any plants, or I would have done it already. But you know, so many of my plants, even like these ones, they make babies quite often, and my collection just expands whether I want it to or not because of the babies. And I'm using a lot of my growing room for starts and garden starts and herb starts and stuff now that I'm up and gardening again. And it's not like I'm gonna pare my collection way back to, you know, bare bones or anything like that, but I do have quite a few that I'm not going to be keeping. And as the weather warms here in Idaho, I was just telling my husband yesterday, I think it's actually warm enough to ship plants now. There's that guy. I'll pot it up. So I may be posting some plants for sale sometime in the near future. I might do a giveaway as well, which would be really fun. So if you've had any of my plants that you've had an eye on, you might have a chance to get one, or a cutting, or a baby, or perhaps even the mother plant, because there are a few of those that I'm just running out of space and would really rather keep something else in its place. But it was a fantastic, beautiful plant. I love these all. And if I wasn't, you know, if I wasn't such a passionate herbalist, I would be spending every bit of my time on these. But this basically, succulents are my indoor passion, but I'm an outdoor girl, and I have outdoor succulents as well. But non-food plants, I should say, are more of an indoor passion for me. And when I'm able to get outside, I just get so excited, and I absolutely love it. So I will not be getting rid of my house plants by any means, but I will be paring down a bit from what I had being so sick. Alrighty, and there's number 3. Yeah, you can see the color on this, see how it's kind of purplish. That lets you know for sure that it's had too much sun and not enough water. See, it should be more green like this. This isn't still a great, it's still thirsty, but it shouldn't be this color. Again, shouldn't be, I guess, is too strong of a word. It means the plant is stressed. And that it just needs to be treated accordingly. So having a bigger pot and getting watered more frequently, these leaves will plump up and they'll green up, and it'll be just fine and happy. Succulents are used to being stressed. That's why they're wonderful, and people love them, and they're hard to kill in a lot of ways. There are some that are quite easy to kill, but a lot of them are quite hardy. Little leaves coming up. He'll be very, very, very happy now that they're in their own pots. And I do leave mine together a lot, as you know, if you see many of my videos. They do like being together if there's enough room and enough water, if there's enough resources, basically. They love being close together. They share rooting hormones, and they just really, really enjoy each other's company. But when there's not enough resources, they do love being in their own pot, and these guys are going to thrive. I will post an update on them once they recover a little bit and let you guys see how they are doing. And I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the cute animals sleeping here.